WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. So I have the next one. I don't even know how many there have been here. The Wheel of the Year from Dingle. I'll do them all. I'll try. This is the, excuse my pronunciation, this is how I was told from a person in Ireland to pronounce it. Grainstad and Gheimhridh. Grainstad and Gheimhridh. So that means the stopping of the sun. So this is winter solstice. So the 21st of December, where the sun hits the lowest point, stops, and then it goes back up. So this just came out in January in Germany. So we're always a little bit behind what goes on over in Ireland by about 6 weeks, which is no big problem. So we have here a whiskey base number. So we have our whiskey base 242430. We have ex-bourbon and tawny port casks maturation, 50.5% ABV. The recommended retail price is €84.90. At the moment, I can buy it for €78 over here in Germany already. 7,800 bottles. Now, number one, am I a big fan of names of whiskeys that I can't pronounce? No. I do not like it by Bunnahabhain. I do not like it by Dingle. I do not like it by other distilleries. For all I care, call your whiskey Legacy. I think there's like 4 or 5 different brands in Scotland that have done that already. But yes, I know it's a cultural. I know it's has a certain meaning, but I'm just too lazy to actually learn the pronunciations of all these. I think there's 9 bottles. 9 for every 3 years. It's going to be 2 years and a little bit more that I'll be learning about Dingle's Peninsula's traditions here. All right, what am I going to compare it to? I'm going to compare it to, just because I can, I have the previous that just came out 2 months ago, basically, is what it feels like. We have the Lunasa. Now, the Lunasa, this is port cask finish. This is Widow Jane. Widow Jane bourbon cask finished. Now, I wasn't a big fan of this. I did not dislike it, but I was not, wow, this is fantastic. And the color is very, very appropriate. So light, dark, reddish. All right, so the port casks did a little bit of their magic with the color over there. Both of these had the recommended retail price originally of €84.90. Both of these have 50.5% ABV. My video about this is already out. It's been out for a couple of months now. This is whiskey base 235532. Here we have 242430. Tawny port. Widow Jane bourbon. Now, my good friend Neil, he works at the Distillery in Dingle. I do a Irish whiskey news podcast, the only German language podcast about Irish whiskeys in the world. And once a month we talk about Irish whiskey, and he told me this was 4 years in bourbon casks and 3 years in export casks. Put it on the label. I love a 7-year age statement by especially from a distillery that's only 10 years old. Come on, do it. Tell me there's a 3-year port cask finish here. That's going to be a reason to buy it even more. More of a reason than a name I can't pronounce. All right, it's good. Let's nose this. Now, the very, very first thing I get is a tart cranberry. Do you remember ocean spray, cranberry juice, ocean spray, cranberry sauce? I would cut it up for Thanksgiving dinner and eat it. It would be so tart. That's what I'm getting here. Now, if I had not known that this is tawny port, no, it's not. It is tawny port. It's not ruby port, it's tawny port. There's 2 types of port. Ruby, which is usually matured in stainless steel tanks so that that ruby red color remains. Only a little bit of wood contact. Tawny goes in these old or good casks that really, really give a lot of wood influence. I love tawny port. I buy dozens of bottles a year. I go through a bottle a month of tawny port. All right, I drink more port than I drink whiskey. Whiskey is for me, now, confession time, work. I think, I analyze, I evaluate, I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly trying to figure things out. I'm visiting, I'm investing time, money, effort into whiskey. Pour it, I just open the bottle, pour a glass, drink it in the evening while watching TV, while I'm eating. I just enjoy port. I don't analyze, I don't speculate, I don't try to, I'm in the moment. Now with whiskey, I'm always thinking about, oh, this and that and everything else. And that's why I don't drink much whiskey outside of what I do on the camera. But port, I know, I like. I've been to Porto, I've been to Portugal, I've visited the bodegas, I've actually done a lot with port. Love it. This doesn't smell like port. This smells like a red wine, like a Amoreno. Has a dry redness going on there. A tartness going on in there. A little bit of bitterness, and there's a little bit of acidity going on there, which I was not expecting. Now, other people, at the moment, this has 89 points on Whiskey Base. There are people giving it 95s and 91s and 91s. Very few people have given anything below a 90. One person gave it an 85, one person gave it an 80. I think that's a little too harsh, the 80, but it's going to appeal to some people, and other people are going to go, well, and I'm one of those persons going, well, just as a comparison, the Lunasa, there's that bourbon sweetness, there's the vanilla coming out. I like this better, and I was not a great fan of this. 84 euros, a lot of money to pay for a no-age statement whiskey. I'm not particularly pleased at the prices of the Wheel of the Year in Germany. What should I say? The Dingle Distillery themselves, they pay 85 euros. All right, so 85 euros. I'm paying 84 euros 90. Good. Stopping of the sun. It's a testament to the time of year that's all about the dark night drawing on. For me, port is a comfort drink, so why not? Grainstad and Gheimhridh. Let's try it. 50.5% ABV. 101 for those of us that like wild turkey. Now, I must admit there's a certain creaminess to this whiskey, which is fabulous. The mouthfeel, non-chilled filtered, now at an all-natural color, perfectly done. But there's a dark chocolate, almost mocha moment that I don't like. There's a dark, it's not even a grape, it's not even a cherry, it's a cranberry that's in there that I'm not really looking forward to in my Dingle Irish whiskey. There's a little bit of the tropical punch moment still going on in there. It's very woody. This is a sea whiskey for me. This is nothing I'm going to write home about, nothing that I'm going to collect, nothing that I'm going to do. Now, if I had been a smart person, I probably could do it if I really wanted to. I would go out and buy one or two of each of the whiskeys of the year and just throw them away. What I would do is with one of those bottles, I would actually go and just do a tasting. Say, hey, all 9 bottles, let's do a tasting one evening. I'll tell a story or invite someone from Ireland to tell the story of the Celtic of that just Irish traditions, the Wheel of the Year that we just don't have in America or Germany. And that could be a wonderful, wonderful evening. I mean, Graham Cole has had the possibility now to work with different types of finishing casks. We have here bourbon, why not? We have here the Ruby Port. Why not? We have other casks that have been used as well. That would be absolutely great. And the other set I could just maybe offer to someone and say, here, you're a collector, you're whatever, here you go. You can have all 9 at once. Very good. You may have just gotten into whiskey and discovered Dingle this year, and you didn't have the possibility a year or 2.5 years ago to do that. That would have been a fantastic, fantastic moment. But I just buy 1 bottle, maybe 2, give 1 to a friend, or sell 1 to the friend that really wants it, and the other one I just do bottle share, do my video, and then it's over with. Nothing from the entire Wheel of the Year series has fascinated me as much or even excited me as much as the standard small batch. This is so much better. All right, I love this. This is wonderful, wonderful juice. This is just sherry. This is just a bourbon, half the price and constantly available. Not a 7,800 bottle release, all right? So this is out there, even in the States. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff. But hey, we get to experience Dingle in all its different shapes, shades, and nuances here. Going to the Lunasa real quick. This is more of a typical Dingle. There's a dryness, there's a woodiness, there's a wood spiciness going on there. There's a slight, even a astringency, but there's a lot of that Dingle, I call it tropical fruit, tropical punch moment going on in there. This is probably one of more of the favorites of everyone. It's complex, but it's just not hitting the wheelhouse where I want it to be. C, value for money, C minus minus. Why C minus minus? As I mentioned, 84 euros is a lot of money. I can get 2 of the Dingles, small batch, for the price of 1 of these. If you like a very nice red wine finish, not a tawny port that we normally have, but a really nice wet red wine finish, I can highly recommend this. If you like a little bit of that dark chocolate, I mean very, very dark chocolate going on in here, almost in the mocha, I can recommend this. If you have no problem with a little bit of a tartness in your whiskey, with a tiny little bit of acidity, sourness almost, this is your whiskey. But all these things are things I do not, if I had a checklist of things I wanted, I would not, there would be no check mark in the checkbox. These are things I do not prefer. I know other people do, but I don't. And therefore, this is something you should definitely try before you buy. So my first question of the day is, what is your favorite Irish whiskey in a port cask? Either port cask matured or just finished. Bushmill 16. No thinking needed for me. And the second question is, what is your favorite Dingle? And once again, no thinking needed. The Dingle small batch. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, telling others. See you real soon. Bye-bye.